Russian drones and missiles tore across Ukraine overnight, killing civilians, shattering homes, and deepening fears, just days before fresh peace talks are set to resume. Near Kyiv, a man and a woman were killed when a drone struck a residential building in the Bielogorod community on the outskirts of the capital. Their 4-year-old daughter survived, pulled from the burning apartment as flames spread through the building. 4 others, including 2 children, were treated for injuries. Reports described rescuing the child amid chaos and fire. Holding the crying 4-year-old, the neighbors realized her mother was already dead, a moment he called the most painful of his decade covering the war. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia launched 1 Iskander-M ballistic missile and 146 drones overnight. Air defenses intercepted 103 drones, but at least 36 drones and the missiles struck 22 locations across the country. In Kyiv, a 17-story residential building was damaged, with shattered windows and a fire breaking out on the roof. Drone debris also fell in the Holosivsky district, damaging another residential block. Further strikes hit Odesa, Zaporizhzhia, Kryvyi Rih, and Mykolaiv. In Zaporizhzhia, rockets struck residential areas, injuring at least 6 people and damaging multiple apartment buildings and vehicles. In Kryvyi Rih, a ballistic missile injured 2 civilians and struck an infrastructure facility. In Odesa, already observing a day of mourning after a deadly strike earlier this week, another attack injured 3 men and damaged religious sites, including the Holy Dormation Monastery. Ukraine's Seaports Authority confirmed that the Black Sea port of Pivdeny was attacked, but continues operating. Deputy Prime Minister Alexei Kuleba said the strikes damaged manufacturing facilities, hangars, and a locomotive, triggering fires that were later contained. President Volodymyr Zelenskiy condemned the attacks, calling them terrorism and vowing a response. The strikes follow a deadly drone attack on a passenger train in northeastern Ukraine that killed 5 people just a day earlier. The escalation comes despite U.S.-brokered peace talks held last week in Abu Dhabi, with another round expected this weekend. Russia has not commented on the latest attacks. As the war nears its 4th year, Ukraine faces intensifying winter strikes, widespread power outages, and mounting civilian suffering, even as diplomatic efforts struggle to gain ground.
Russia's defense ministry says its air defense forces intercepted and destroyed 75 Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles overnight, a sweeping operation stretching across vast swathes of territory. According to official statements, aircraft-type drones were detected, tracked, and neutralized in multiple regions in a coordinated overnight assault. The largest concentration, officials say, came over Krasnodar, where 24 drones were shot down. Another 23 were intercepted over Crimea, a region that remains one of the most heavily defended airspaces in the conflict. Additional UAVs were destroyed over the Black Sea, Belgorod, Astrakhan, Kursk, Voronezh, Bryansk, Rostov, Tambov, and Volgograd, painting a picture of a multi-vector strike. In response to Ukrainian attacks, Moscow reiterates its long-standing position. Russian forces say they are striking only military targets, including command posts, weapons depots, and facilities tied to Ukraine's military-industrial complex. high-precision weapons launched from air, sea and land platforms remain the backbone of Russia's retaliatory doctrine alongside its own expanding drone operations. The message from Moscow is blunt: escalation in the air will be met with escalation on the ground. But this surge in military activity comes at a critical political moment for Kyiv. According to a report by the Financial Times, US negotiators have urged Ukraine to consider a full withdrawal from the parts of Donbass it still controls, specifically Donetsk and Luhansk, as a condition for any future American security guarantees. 8 sources familiar with the talks say the Trump administration views territorial withdrawal not as a concession but as a cornerstone of a potential peace framework. In Washington's view, security commitments cannot exist in a vacuum. They must be tied to a negotiated settlement. For Ukraine, the timing could not be worse. As drones are launched and intercepted, Kyiv now faces the possibility that continued battlefield escalation may actually weaken its hand at the negotiating table, not strengthen it.
Times of India videos, your daily dose of India and the world. Global news, different views, and sharp analysis.
Pressure of expectation from your fans, your supporters.
That is often served as a backdrop for several Bollywood.
You're not a brute majority anymore if you individually take out their right.
Making sense of global conflicts. Tracking the new emerging world order.
Strike on Israeli military bases.
A multi-pronged.
To stay out of harm's way as Israel started bombing targets across.
Understanding changing alliances in a polarized world. Tune into TOI videos for all this and more. Click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an update.